Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host for today, Kevin McIntosh. We got a lot to talk about, starting off with the grand opening for Canal Bakery in Kego Harbor. As you may have seen in our previous episode, Canal Bakery just opened up their newest location this past Friday, right in the heart of Kego Harbor, inviting customers inside for their beautiful decor and delicious baked goods, by the way. We sent our very own Jay Schaff out on the scene to get a taste of all the action.
Kego Harbor just got a little bit sweeter as Matt Neo, owner of Canal Bakery, just opened up his 5th location right here in the city. A beautiful little bakery right off the side of Orchard Lake Road, inviting customers in with their amazing decor and delicious baked goods, sure to make everybody with a sweet tooth very, very happy.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's the opening, and we love to see people enjoying and having fun, and being at the first opening day at Canal. It's beautiful. This is my first location near where I live, and I was so excited, and I was at the same time afraid a little bit, because how it's gonna turn. But the moment I start seeing people coming before opening time, I start having those goosebumps, and super excited.
I tried one of your raspberry chocolate croissants earlier today. It was delicious. It was flaky. It was chocolatey. It was everything you'd want it to be. And a lot of the baking here, it's French inspired. Is that correct?
Absolutely, 100% French. Everything we do, it's French. I have a master degree in pastries from France, so all what I do is pastry, French pastries. The chocolate croissant is my favorite, and the pain au chocolat, the crunchy from the dessert part. Yeah.
Well, we knew this area has a lot of people and a lot of demand, and there is no bakery like this. This is an authentic French pastry shop, and there's really none in this area. Canal Bakery is pretty famous. They have been named the Midwest Bakery of the Year the last 2 years for the entire Midwest.
What have you thought of the food so far?
Well, it's so delicious, but it's so pretty. Sometimes I look at it like I'm not good enough to eat this, like artwork. But and he takes so much pride in it. Like when he bakes it, he works all night baking. And the temperature and the humidity is within 1 degree to make sure his product is fresh and perfect.
I think it looks absolutely amazing. I feel like the colors are such a spring, summer, fall vibe. It brings a great ambiance to the community. It's absolutely stunning.
I mean, if you're looking for a vibrant place to hang out after work, or even during work if you work from home, the coffee here is amazing. The croissants, the subs, the different pastries. It's a very vibrant place, like she said. Very warm, very welcoming. So yeah.
How do you hope to see the business continue to grow and continue to connect with the community in the coming months and years?
So I hope things to be consistent all the time, and we keep growing, and I keep have this place kind of full and steady all the time, having people having their events in here and coming after dinner to have dessert and coffee, and that's what I look for, and continuing doing business in this rhythm. Yeah.
If today's success is anything to go by, I think things are off to a fantastic start for Canal right here in Kego Harbor. And with its tasty treats and great hospitality, I think the customers will keep coming back for even more. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Oh, what a very, very tasty segment right there, Jake. Seems so good, so delicious. A lot of happy faces in that happy place right there. Canal Bakery, now in Kego Harbor. Your chance to go out there and check it out and support some local businesses right here in our Greater West Bloomfield area, by the way. For more, go directly to their website, caneldetroit.com, CANNELLE, Detroit.com for more information. Since we're talking about one new addition in our community, let's transition to another new addition right here in our Greater West Bloomfield area, including Pickle Rage officially opened up its doors this week, specifically for free play by reservation and court availability, I should say. That's beginning Friday, July 19th, and running all the way through July 31st, the end of this month. The brand new facility located on Orchard Lake Road at the Gateway Center, and is set to become one of the biggest hubs for this growing game in Southeastern Michigan. General Manager Jesse Francisco spoke to Tyler Keefe from our team to give a little bit of background on what customers can expect from Pickle Rage.
It's 30,000 square feet. It has 9 courts. We will have like I said, the 9 courts there. Plus we have a dink court so you can practice beforehand. We'll also have a fully stocked pro shop. Allow you to come and buy some of your merchandise, upgrade your paddles. We'll have some Pickle Rage branded wear for you there. But really, I think the thing that sets us apart is our courts. We started, when we conceptualized Pickle Rage, we started with the courts. It's a Cushion X court. It's actually the courts that they use at the U.S. Open. And we're excited to bring it to the community.
And pickleball is one of the fastest growing sports in the entire planet. And part of what's making it attractive is its ability to draw in players from a wide range of experiences. And Sylvan Lake pickleball enthusiast Karen Burkfield explains.
We've got a group here that we call the patty cake players. They just want to go out and get the exercise and meet the other girls on the court in the morning. And then all the way up to people who compete in tournaments across the state. So, I think the appeal is so universal. We've got more and more younger people out playing now too. Like, even middle schoolers, but I've noticed a lot of college-age kids out using the courts.
Yeah, and turning to the experts, Francisco gave us his perspective on why he believes pickleball has become a sport for everyone, including right here in the Greater West Bloomfield area.
That's the important part, is offering something for everyone. When I discuss pickleball with people and local enthusiasts, I mean, you just see them light up and you see the excitement that just talking about the sport generates. The thing I think I admire the most or like the most about the sport is you can be relatively competitive and enjoy yourself and not feel intimidated in a pretty short amount of time. Now there are some players out there that I don't want to step on the court with, but I think for the normal, social aspect of it, it is just perfect. It combines sport, recreation, and social, and kind of throws it all into one.
Yeah, and it's not just growing a game. It's actually growing communities, including right here in the city of Sylvan Lake.
I've met people I never would have met. I wouldn't have had anything in common with them. But now we have that to share, and you find out more about them by chatting while you're not playing and things like that. I mean, it's been an amazing gatherer of people, sort of, that's really been felt in our community, and I know it's been felt other places as well.
And it was exactly that sense of community in the local area that has attracted growing businesses in the space to come right here to our community, as Pickle Rage's Jesse Francisco also explained.
The large amount of pickleball enthusiasts in this area, when we looked at the stats and looked at some of the data that we spent a lot of time researching, it was kind of mind-blowing. There's just so much. And we're excited to bring our brand and lend ourselves to the community as a place to gather, enjoy the sport, learn the sport. And it also has a lot to do with the facility. This particular unit offered us the proper layout to put the right amount of courts in, because that comes down to it. Just because it's a large building doesn't necessarily mean the layout and the configuration will work. This one was perfect for us, and we're more than excited to be here.
And you can learn more about Pickle Rage and its soft opening event in July and grand opening on August 3rd, all on their Facebook, by the way, Pickle Rage West Bloomfield, for more information and find out how you can be a part of that soft opening and grand opening of Pickle Rage. Now, we have heard some news around Oakland County, unfortunate news of someone losing their life in one of the Oakland County lakes, and this is why we like to inform you on water safety and pool safety. And that's why joining us right here on the Splash Live from Goldfish Swim School of West Bloomfield, we have the pool operations manager, Caitlin Mahaffey, joining us right here on the Splash. And can you just tell us a bit about your swim safety programs for the summer and how you tailor them to the different age groups that you serve, please?
Well, we cater to kids from 4 months old all the way to the age of 12. So we take water safety super important. We have our normal monthly lessons, which is you go in once a week, you go in for 30 minutes, do some water safety and swim lessons. We also have an amazing program going on right now, which is a month's worth of progress in 1 week. So it's Monday through Thursday. You come in, you get a month's worth of lessons in that time frame, and it's a great time. We call them Jumpstart Clinics. It's a great place to start. Definitely if you're going on vacation and you're like, I want my kids to really own up on those swimming skills, those safety skills, Jumpstart Clinics is the way to go. Maybe you have a very nervous swimmer who doesn't like the water. Staying consistent is super key. And those Jumpstart Clinics is a great way to get your toes wet, to get a little more comfortable in the water before jumping into a weekly lesson, a monthly lesson.
Ooh, we putting a month's worth of learning into a week. I know that's a very, very eventful week right there, but it's interesting. Nonetheless, I like to hear that. So you said you start at 4 months old. That's before babies can even walk. Let's just say that. So we're talking about swimming. Can you just talk about the process of helping babies that at 4 months old start swimming and involving the parents too?
Yeah. So our mini programs, our parents or grandparents, we have some grandparents that love to go in, will go into the water. It's a great bonding experience for the baby and the adult with them. But it's really important. Babies are born naturally aquatic. They have been in the mommy's tummy full of water. They know what the water is. They have built these habits in the womb, and now we're going to change their muscle memory from doing normal things that they were used to doing to now doing saving lives, like learning how to float and turning around and looking for a wall. We really focus on sensory with our infants, and we really work with just the basic water safety skills that an infant, someone at 5 months old, 6 months old, could really comprehend. We have a pediatrician on our curriculum team that has really helped us develop our curriculum so it's appropriate for the ages of your children. So we're not going to do, breaststroke with a 4-month-old, but we're going to get them comfortable laying on their backs, getting water in their ears, singing to them, giving them some skin-to-skin contact with mom and baby, something like that to get them comfortable and more adapt to the water.
Got you. Okay. That's interesting. I just like when you say 4 months, and I know I think we've had this talk before, just how young they start swimming and being in the womb. It's just so crazy to hear 4 months. That's like you're not talking or walking or anything, but right here joining us on the Splash Live, pool operations manager for Goldfish Swim School West Bloomfield, Caitlin Mahaffey, join us to talk about a lot of different things, different programs at Goldfish Swim School. But now we want to talk about safety. Since we are talking about swimming, since we are talking about the youth, just highlight again how Goldfish ensures safety for everyone involved at Goldfish.
Well, we take water safety very, very serious. We always have a
Yeah.
lifeguard on duty. It doesn't matter if we're setting up the
Mhm.
pool, taking down the pool, doing any trainings for our swim instructors or lifeguards. We always have a lifeguard on stand. So that's
There you
something
go.
really important. We do our monthly in service, which every month, the second Sunday of the month, I will develop a scenario that could happen in our pool, and our lifeguards have to work through that. So whether it's someone who just becomes unconscious in the water, how do we get them out of the water? How do we make sure they're breathing? If they need CPR, if they need an AED. So we go through all of
Right.
these different scenarios, and we continue ongoing training with our swim instructors and lifeguards to ensure the safety of not just our swimmers, but our lifeguards, our deck supervisors, our swim instructors, all of them.
Got you. Thank you. That's very reassuring to hear that. I pretty much knew that. We know that Goldfish is definitely on top of everything, but we like to reiterate that for our audience also. One main thing that has been going around on social media and a buzzing online is talking about chlorine, especially now it's the summertime. Chlorine levels and the irritation or possibly irritation to skin and hair. Since we're dealing with chlorine in the pool at Goldfish, can you just talk about how Goldfish manages those chlorine levels so that it ensures safety and cleanliness and sanitation, but also less irritation on skin and hair?
So all of our management team and our deck supervisors have been trained in our pump room to know what to look for, what alarms to look for. They learn how to test our chemicals and we put it in. We know our safe ranges that Oakland County has given
Mm-hmm.
us. So we have gone through all these trainings, and when we see the chemicals, so first thing we do when we get in, our deck supervisors test the water. We test the water before anyone gets in, before we even set up the pool. It's super crucial that we do that to give us time where if our chlorine is out of whack or a different chemical might be out of whack, like our pH, it gives us time to correct it before we have swimmers come in. Um, and
Okay.
then we keep monitoring our whole chemical system. So we test before every shift and at the end of every shift. We have an amazing chlorinator machine in the back that helps automatically feed our acid, our chlorine, all of that stuff that makes that water safe and sanitized for your child. We have these probes that
Okay.
can measure that out for us. So even though we're not physically getting in the water, taking that water sample and testing, it's testing it for us to make sure that we're ensuring throughout all of the lessons, an all day lesson where our water is sanitized and safe for every swimmer.
Got you. Thank you. Thank you. See, now I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes, it was a lot of testing, a lot of other stuff, but I'm just gonna ensure that you all are the professionals. You know what you're doing. You know what you're looking at, and like you said, you test it before you even let anyone into the pool, and that's great.
Mhm.
So when we are doing or talking about post swim routines, after we're getting out of the pool, we still want to make sure that we're completely cleansed of this. So is there any post swim routines that Goldfish provides or recommends for parents and kids when they're wrapping up from their swim?
Well, I'll even throw in a little pre swim lesson too. It's best to always
Okay.
rinse off before you go into the pool. Our body will absorb
uh,
less chlorine. Our hair and our skin will absorb less chlorine if it's already wet. So we have a wall of showers in the back where you can just go in, shower down. I always say if you have sensitive skin, lotion or like Aquaphor, Vaseline, coconut oil, putting it on your skin before getting into the pool is a great way to add that extra barrier so your skin doesn't absorb extra chlorine. We also
okay.
recommend as
Oh,
soon as getting out of the pool, you go and shower. All of our shower stations
yeah.
have like a little body wash shampoo We do provide that, so you can go ahead, wash your body off. We do have a private bathroom with a shower. So for parents that may have multiple kids and want to get in and fully shower, they have that privacy of that bathroom. But it's super important, no matter what, when you're getting into chlorine or out, is that you're fully rinsing your body before and after. And then also adding some type of lotion or like Aquaphor. I love Aquaphor. It's a great way for your skin to heal from any irritation you might get from chlorine.
Oh, wow. Wow. I want to give you a round of applause for that. Yeah, that was some good information to know. Rinsing before you get in the pool so that it absorbs less chlorine. That one was a good one right there. I know to rinse before, but I didn't necessarily know why, other than just being told to. Great information.
Yep, you rinse
Thank
for
you
2
again, Kate.
reasons.
Oh, okay, okay, good. See, thank you, and that's why we have you here. And thank you again for your time, Caitlin. Caitlin Mahaffey from Goldfish Swim School, West Bloomfield, Pool Operations Manager. We appreciate your time and your information.
Thank you. I enjoyed being here today.
Yes. A lot of great information that we learned right there regarding chlorine, pool safety, swim safety, and things of that nature. A lot of good things going on. You can rewatch that interview on our website, civiccentertv.com. Click on the On Demand tab, or you can also just go directly to their website, find out more information, goldfishss.com, SS as in swimschool.com. Continuing to give you information regarding the construction project that is affecting us right here in our community. The MDOT I-696 exit ramp construction is actually affecting West Bloomfield and the Oakland County area. So joining us right here on the Splash Live to give a little bit more insight to that project, we have Construction Department Manager for HNTB, Steve Griffith, joining us right here, and consultant for the 696 project. First and foremost, thank you for being here, Steve.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we're talking about this I-696 project. A lot of construction going on right now. You're the consultant for it. Let's just get into the part that's really affecting our community right around that Orchard Lake Road exit that's being worked on. Can you just talk about why that area that's being worked on right now, phase 1, is so important to this entire project?
Sure. During construction, this project is a 9-mile reconstruct from basically the Telegraph M10 interchange over to the 275 M5 interchange. So it's about 9 miles or so. And that Orchard Lake interchange intersection there is really the only access in or out of that work zone anywhere in the midpoint. Really, we have 9 continuous miles of construction with really 1 exit or entrance into the freeway from for the Bloomfield communities there at Orchard Lake.
Interesting. Okay. So thanks for providing that answer. So overall, just let us know, what are we looking at? What is the overall overview of the project that we're expecting from this whole 696 construction?
Sure. So MDOT put out a project back in 2022, the start of the fall of 22, to reconstruct 9 miles of I-696. We're currently about 70% complete. We've completed construction of the eastbound lanes. We're at a midpoint of wrapping up construction on westbound, with westbound reconstruction slated to be completed late this fall. And we will have some work next spring that carries over. That'll be more, single lane closures, short-term duration type lane closures to wrap up some landscaping and some traffic signal work, pavement markings. But primary reconstruction will be wrapped up this fall.
Oh, yeah. I know
with this.
No, please continue.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I know that's something that we're all definitely anticipating, as we're seeing a lot of construction on our freeways that's kind of slowing things up. But we know it's for the good, or at least we're anticipating that. But join us right here on the Splash Live, Construction Department Manager for HNTB, Steve Griffith, and consultant for the 696 project that we are all experiencing right now. So I want you to kind of put that in perspective. We are anticipating the roads to be better, I guess, but that's kind of subjective. So with that construction that's being done, even on the Orchard Lake Road ramp, can you just talk about what we're expecting after construction is done? Is there going to be an extra lane, or how is it going to be better exactly?
Sure. We'll have brand new pavement. The existing ramps had a lot of potholes. They were constructed with the original freeway construction. So they were well past their service life at this point. So we're going in, we're removing that existing pavement, building a brand new ramp, improving laneage as well, access to Orchard Lake from 696. We'll have an additional turn lane there. We added one from eastbound. We'll have something similar at westbound with 2 lanes able to turn right onto northbound Orchard Lake, 2 lanes able to make a left-hand turn onto southbound Orchard Lake. During this time, we have about a 35-day construction closure for that ramp reconstruction. So we got started last week with that, and anticipate getting the ramp from westbound 696 to Orchard Lake open sometime mid-August, sometime in that. So once that's complete, that'll be that interchange there will be free flowing for westbound 696 to exit back out at Orchard Lake, and then we'll also have be maintaining access at all times from southbound Orchard Lake back on to westbound 696 now.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Like I said, I know we're all anticipating for it to be officially over, but let me just kind of break that down or inquire about that. When you say about mid-August, are we talking about just that specific region, the Orchard Lake exit road for 696, or are we talking about all of the, what are we talking about?
No, that would be just the ramp from westbound 696 to Orchard Lake Road. Right now, that was closed last week to reconstruct the ramp, so we're allotted about a 35 to 40-day window to complete that work. So right now we're on track. Pavement's been removed out there. We're in the process of building our grade and should start seeing pavement coming down or being placed next week for that.
Has there been any delays in the process, any challenges that you face? I know we've had a lot of on and off rain and flooding. How has that or any other challenges affected the progress of the construction?
With the project of this size and duration, typically we do run into some delays. Fortunately, we've been able to work through some of our seasonal suspensions this year. We worked a little bit more in the winter than we initially anticipated, but that allowed us to catch back up on schedule. And at this point, we're on schedule to have the job opened up this year and everything completed next season.
How will this, that sounds great. And I know we already talked about the fact that we're reducing potholes right there on that Orchard Lake exit. Are there any other ways this should benefit drivers immediately once this is done?
Once it opens, you'll have improved signage, improved pavement markings. The full roadway will be reconstructed, so it'll be a much smoother ride. We have a couple emergency pullovers that are constructed in the area between Middle Belt and Inkster for accident investigations or for vehicles that have a flat tire or breaking down. They have an accident pull off to the side of the road. We'll have improved access ramps at the M10 Telegraph interchange as well, so that will improve access. We'll have improved pavement, so we are utilizing a special concrete pavement mixture in that interchange area there to improve ride for that as well. So once it's done, we should be a brand new roadway for that last 25 to 30 years.
I don't know if I'm the only one. I would imagine I'm not. But on some lanes of the freeway, that's why it's so interesting that you brought that up with the fresh pavement and the extra space on the shoulder. Because some lanes that I drive on, I feel like they're a little bit rougher, or maybe my tires or react different than like maybe the fast lane. So to kind of get all that straightened out, like I can understand that. Make sure it's even, level, that type of thing. And then that extra space on the shoulder for the cars who may be experiencing some type of malfunction. That's something we don't necessarily think about, but that is a safety concern. So I'm glad that we have consultants like yourself keeping that in consideration. Last question, Steve, before I let you go. Just very curious, in your personal experience from doing construction and things of that nature, how do you feel like after this construction is done in our particular area, how do you feel like that will affect the community, specifically businesses that may have slowed down traffic to their areas during this construction process?
The good news with this is once we are done, this is a full reconstruct, so this is not a short-term kind of maintenance fix. This is a full 25 to 30-year fix. So once we complete this project, the good news is hopefully the residents aren't impacted by any of our road construction in that area for the next 15 to 20 years.
Wow.
There will be some intermittent maintenance activities that occur in that area, but for the most part, the Department of Transportation should be have that fully reconstructed, and the road should be in good shape for the foreseeable future there.
Oh man, Steve, I wish we could hear that about most construction projects. We're gonna do this one time and we're done for 15 years. I would love that. But we know this is that time for reconstruction season, pothole season, whatever the case may be. And we do appreciate you all for getting out there and doing the work. Thank you again. Any additional information before I let you go that you want to let the public know, our community know, that we haven't discussed?
No, just other than appreciate people's patience. I understand people can be frustrated with all the road construction going on throughout Michigan, especially in the kind of the Metro Detroit area right now. So just appreciate people's patience, and just please try to reduce speeds in these work zones. We have a lot of people working there, and we want to make sure we avoid accidents and everybody makes it home from the work day safely.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you said that. Please take it easy in these construction zones, especially where we see workers. We want them all to make it to their family at night. Thank you again, Construction Department Manager for HNTB and consultant for this I-696 project right now, Steve Griffith. We appreciate your time and information.
Thank you.
Yeah, see, like we always say, being in Michigan, we know we get the potholes, and then we got the construction season to kind of fix the potholes. It's nothing that we like, but what we do like, fresh paved roads and freeways. It makes it easier for everyone. So we're anticipating the construction being done specifically in the Orchard Lake exit road area on 696 around mid-August, a few more weeks, and we'll continuously keep you updated with things going on in the community. We are live, local, and social with so much more to talk about in the greater West Bloomfield area. We will keep you updated on how the community is doing and been impacted by other events. Live, local, and social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Hello, I'm Chief Mike Patton of the West Bloomfield Township Police Department. We're here to say congratulations to Civic Center TV on their 1 million YouTube views here in the community. We enjoy great partnership with Civic Center TV. They are one of our best community partners. I'm Chief Mike Patton. I'm proud to be 1 in a million.
Missed one of our live broadcasts or one of your local municipal meetings? Check it out online at civiccentertv.com. Every meeting, show, and interview on demand. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'm your host for today, Kevin McIntosh. We just got some news and reports about the NFL draft in Detroit and what it did for our local community. It actually generated, according to reports, $213.6 million in economic impact for the city of Detroit. And of the total economic impact, $161.3 million represents new spending within the Detroit region. Almost 1 million people, 775,000, attended the draft over 3 days, with 30% traveling over 100 miles to attend, which means they had to stay in some hotels somewhere, and some even right here in greater West Bloomfield. So join us to talk about the impact that the draft had on some of our local businesses in West Bloomfield. We have Area Director of Sales and Event Management for Hilton Hotels, Amber Barnett. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Such a wonderful opportunity.
We're talking about the impact that the draft had on our local communities. You being ahead of one of the hotels here locally, can you just talk about how that experience from the draft kind of affected your local hotel business?
The experience from the draft helped us tremendously. We were sold out that entire weekend. On the weekends, we are pretty much sold out, but that experience definitely helped our hotels. Both of them here in West Bloomfield, folks had an amazing experience, and it was something different. The NFL draft was something different experience for the guests.
Wait a minute, did you say sold out.
Sold
100%
out.
occupancy?
100%. That is correct.
Whoa. Okay. And just for clarification, you actually are area director of sales and event management for the Hampton Inn, Southfield, West Bloomfield, and Hilton Home 2 Suites, West Bloomfield also. So both of them right there on Northwestern Highway also, just so we can give a little bit more context. Now with 100% occupancy, Amber, I know it wasn't the easiest task. Can you describe some of the unique challenges and opportunities that arose from hosting that large influx of people?
Well, there really wasn't any challenge. We always are ready and always stay prepared. Yes, we not to say that the whole entire hotels were sold out due to the NFL draft.
Right.
We did have a lot of groups, but I do feel that a lot of the overflow of the hotels from downtown impacted us and folks willing to do a longer distance. I think a lot of folks did last minute traveling, so that weekend picked up a lot of last minute rooms that caused us to be sold out. Looking and changing rates to help accommodate guests, comparing rates. A lot of folks were sold out. We were the only folks that had rooms.
Yeah.
Come on, and everyone had a good experience.
Yeah, put your head on my pillow.
Yeah.
We got a room for you. I get it.
We have
That's
a room
nice.
for you. Everyone's sold out.
Right here. Okay, so I want to talk about you said your team prepared for it. Wasn't too many challenges. So that means that you all prepared well in advance. Can you talk about your team's preparation for such a huge event? Was there any special training or anything?
No, not necessarily, because we're used to big events. We're used to big groups, small groups. We're a small hotel. The Hampton's 89 rooms, the Home 2's 91. So we're always properly staffed. So at any time, at any moment, if there's a big event, a small event, we're going to be ready.
Love that. Right here on the Splash Live with me, Area Director of Sales and Event Management for Hilton Hotels, Amber Barnett, talking about how the NFL draft in Detroit impacted the local community and businesses, with it saying hotel occupancy rates peaked at 92% during the draft, with significant increases on the surrounding days. Now, kind of getting back to that also, have you received any feedback from the guests? Now, with people traveling, like we said, over 100 miles, some of them, over 30% of them traveling over 100 miles. Any feedback from people maybe out of town, out of state, about some of the services that you provided?
Oh, they loved it. The general managers of both hotels let me know. The guests loved the experience. They said they will come back to Detroit more often. We really set a tone for a lot of states, countries. The guests had a good experience. Guests always have a good experience when they come to our hotels, but to be able to go to Detroit to experience the NFL draft, it made a super positive experience for them.
I love that. I love that. But what are your thoughts in regards to, since I would think we all here in the Metro Detroit area would say it was a very successful event, right? With that being said, how do you feel like the success of that NFL draft can potentially affect or have the potential for other large events in Detroit or the Metro Detroit area, which could also affect local businesses? How do you feel like that draft is going to continue with that?
I feel what everyone coming down to the city, they seen what we were able to do. They seen how the city was able to come together. Businesses downtown bloomed. There were so many businesses that were ready. Everyone was prepared. Folks were excited just to see just our state and how we have changed so much. So I think the NFL has definitely opened up eyes for a lot of folks, for them to say, hey, I definitely want to come back. We're going to spend time here. I'm going to do business in Detroit or in Michigan, West Bloomfield. I'll be out here more often. I think it just opened eyes for more people to say, like, wow, they're really doing some things there.
Nice. And that's what I think we all appreciate. People seeing Detroit in the Metro Detroit area in a new light, just showing it what we had to offer and how great it was. And continuously, like we said, encourage other people to bring new things here and help us grow. Lastly, before we get out of here, other local events, not just Detroit, but right here in West Bloomfield, Oakland County, things of that nature. We even have the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show coming up real soon. How do you all prepare for other local events, or are there any other local events that happens annually that you all try to anticipate, I should say?
Oh, yes. As an area director of sales for both of the West Bloomfield properties, I am all over events. So just making sure that we continue to stay properly staffed. Everyone's always on training, coaching, learning from previous experience, anything that we can do better from the last person experience. If we were great, let's try to be better and greater, because this is folks home away from home. So we just try to just make sure we're just staying on our game and never getting too comfortable.
Good point, good point. All right, so I want to give you this opportunity right now, Area Director of Sales and Event Management for Hilton Hotels in West Bloomfield, Amber Barnett. When there is something happening in the Metro Detroit area, why should they stay at Home 2 Suites by Hilton or Hampton Inn right here in the West Bloomfield area? Why?
We're in the prime area. There's plenty to do. Home 2 Suites, it's wonderful. Wonderful breakfast. Both hotels has wonderful pools. Both hotel has pools, breakfast, meeting room. It'll be your home away from home. The Hampton Inn has kings and 2 queens. So the difference between the two, kings and 2 queens. Home 2 has kings. Yes, that is the difference. You're in a prime area. Both hotels will treat you like family, and it'll be a great stay experience.
I love that. I love
and great standards.
And you sold me already, and we appreciate it. Thank you for the work that you've done and the work that you are continuously doing to provide great hospitality for people who are coming to the Metro Detroit area for the first time. Thank you again to Amber Barnett. Thank you again. Yeah, Amber Barnett, area sales manager and event management for Hilton Hotels right here in the West Bloomfield area, continuously giving her perspective on how the NFL draft in Detroit actually affected hotels right here in West Bloomfield. Also, a huge economic impact that it had. Even said local businesses saw significant increases in patronage, with some seeing up to 3 times their usual customer numbers. So we would love to have more events coming to the West Bloomfield area or Metro Detroit area so that our hotels and other local businesses can also benefit from that as well. So as we have more information in regards to events and things of that nature, we will also keep you updated. It is the summertime, which means the summer taxes are officially due right here in the state of Michigan. And West Bloomfield is no exception. So to talk a little bit more about tax assessments and summer taxes in general, joining us right here on the Splash Live from West Bloomfield Township Assessor's Office, we have Township Assessor Robert Scripture. Thank you for being here, Robert, first and foremost.
Good morning, Kevin. Thank you for having me.
Now, I want to talk about taxes, right? Summer taxes are due right here in Michigan, property taxes. Can you explain the process and timeline for assessing property tax values in West Bloomfield Township?
Sure. The figures that appear in your 2024 summer tax bill really began in development last year. Assessing department spends all year reviewing properties, reviewing sales in order to establish an assessment for all 25,000 parcels here in West Bloomfield. The assessment notices are then mailed out to all properties in February, and then all assessments and the assessment roll undergo a review process in March, along with county and state equalization reviews soon after. The millages that appear in your tax bill for calculating your taxes are compiled from all taxing authorities, approved by the Township Board at the end of September. The 2024 summer tax bills are mailed out in early July. If you haven't received one, please call the West Bloomfield Treasurer's Department and they will get one in your hands ASAP.
Nice, nice. So a lot of moving factors that go into it, a science and art to assessing these property taxes. So let's kind of get into it. What factors are considered when determining property tax assessments?
To simplify it, there's 2 main factors. There is the property record card, which contains everything that's specific to your property, which will be your square footages, your bathrooms, fireplaces, porches, decks, ceramic tile, siding, brick, etc. And the second part is sales. It's sales information or market data that's occurring in your area. To make sure your property is being assessed accurately, it's simply just call the assessing department and have any of the staff review the property record card with you. The property record card information is also available on our website. It's free of charge to the property owners.
Interesting, interesting. So sales affects our property tax value as well as a few other features with homes in our neighborhood and within proximity. Definitely makes sense now that you put that in perspective. Right now on the Splash Live from the West Bloomfield Township Assessor's Office, Township Assessor Robert Scripture joining us. Many residents have questions about the difference between assessed value and taxable value. Can you explain what that difference is exactly?
It is complicated, but it doesn't have to be. The assessed value is the figure that the assessing department has to develop every year for every property. It's supposed to reflect, or does reflect, the 50% of the usual selling price, which means this value reflects market data. Taxable value is what we pay taxes on. It's a calculated value which has limitations on how much it can increase year over year. Aside from the first year after an uncapping, and a capping is like a transfer of ownership or a sale of a property, the two sets of numbers rarely ever are the same again. Assuming that no change is made to the property, the assessed value can increase however much the market dictates, but the taxable value can only increase by the consumer price index or 5%, whichever is less.
Oh, wow. Okay. Definitely a science to it right there. Okay, so Robert, I want to ask, if we already spoke about property tax and being assessed accurately, right? But in the instance that there is some type of flaw, some type of mishap, some type of inaccuracy there, how can residents go about disputing that or handling that before missing a deadline without any type of punishment?
Great question. Again, I always encourage the first step is to call the West Bloomfield Assessing Department. We have knowledgeable staff. We want to look for the inaccuracies. If there's a problem with the property record card, for residential properties, the appeals process occurs in March, which instructions for appealing are printed on the assessment change notice, which are mailed out in February. The March Board of Review is a panel of residents that are charged with listening to the taxpayers' appeals, and then they have the authority to make changes to the assessment roll based upon the evidence provided. Commercial industrial properties, they are permitted to skip the March Board of Review process and go directly to the state of Michigan as long as they file by May 31st.
So there's a process and there's a specific time where they can actually go and repeal whatever type of tax assessment they have to their property. It's great to understand right there. So with property taxes and homeowners, essentially there's a lot of, like we said, a lot of moving parts, a lot of misunderstanding, misconceptions. Are there any common misconceptions from your knowledge that homeowners or residents have about property taxes? And then let's get into how they can be more educated about it.
Okay. The biggest misconception is when you're looking at purchasing a property, you might see on a listing or on Zillow or the taxes being paid by a property owner, and to assume that those are going to be your level of taxation when you purchase this home is most of the time incorrect. Going back to the taxable value being capped and only increasing by a small amount,
right?
Those numbers, you're essentially going to have to call the assessing department and get an estimate, a rough estimate for what that taxable value could be after you purchase the property. That's one misconception. And the second one I can think of right now is just, I usually get the whole, why are my taxes higher than my neighbors? We have similar homes. That goes back to the uncapping. More than likely, your neighbor has been residing in that property, say, for 20 years, while you've only been there for 3. They have a much lower capped value, lower taxable value.
No, good point. And we discussed that with a real estate agent right here on the Splash Live recently, too, about how moving in and being a first-time homeowner can definitely make a huge difference in the property taxes that you receive versus someone who's been staying there for 10, 20, 30 years or whatever the case may be. Rob, we appreciate your time and your information for being here. We got to leave. Any additional information that you want to let residents know about before we let you go?
No, we have our website at the assessing department. It's full of facts, information and guides to help you understand property tax administration, property tax law. And again, feel free to call the assessing department at any point and speak to any of our knowledgeable staff.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for providing that insight. WBTownship.org for more information. Also, join us right here on the Splash Live. Provide more information regarding property taxes right here in West Bloomfield. Township Assessor for the West Bloomfield Township Assessor's Office, Robert Scripture. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. A lot of great Great information and nuggets right there. If you are not a homeowner yourself, please relay that information to someone who is a homeowner, as property taxes are due right now, and we want to continuously keep you updated with that also. Continuously talking about homes, but homes for pets. There's an Empty the Shelter initiative that promotes pet adoption right here in Oakland County, and we love to talk about that and spread the word for our pet lovers. So right here on the Splash Live, we have Chief of the Oakland County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center, Joni Toole, joining us to talk about the Empty the Shelter initiative. And first, how can adopting a pet, Joni, from a shelter make a difference in a local community like Greater West Bloomfield?
Yes, our shelters right now are bursting. It seems everybody in Michigan and the nation is suffering from owners trying to rehome their pets right now. I think COVID had a lot to do with that. Everybody ran out and got a pet because they were home, and now they're back to work. So the pet, they don't have enough time for it. Some people, it's financial. But the shelters are bursting right now, and the Bissell Pet Fund Foundation has really stepped up to the plate. They have done this for several years now. They subsidize the adoption fees. So right now you can pick up a dog at Oakland County for $25. Cats are $15. They're fully vetted. They're wonderful animals. Most of our animals here are stray, and they just lost their way. They're looking for a new forever home. And instead of going to a pet store, come to your local shelter, because you never know what you're going to find.
Right.
We do have, full breeds. We have mixes. I personally prefer the mixes. I think they're just a better, hardier dog. But yeah, instead of going and to the pet store and spending a lot of money on a full bred dog, give a homeless animal a second chance at life, and check out your local shelters.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're here for too, Joni, to promote adopting a pet, fostering a pet, whatever. But yes, right now it's about adopting, making sure we get these pets a nice, good, safe home. Join us right here on the Splash Live from the Oakland County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Chief, we have Joni Toole talking about the Bissell Pet Foundation's Empty the Shelters initiative nationwide, but it's affecting right here in our local community. Now, you already explained how the Bissell Pet Foundation actually helps with specifically Oakland County Animal Control during this event, but can you just talk about how this event in general has had an impact? What impact have you seen on the community when this type of event comes to Oakland County Animal Control?
Well, it helps a lot because it offsets the adoption fee, which is normally over $100 for a dog and, for a cat. So if you are looking for a pet, this is a prime opportunity to get a fully vetted animal here at the shelter that's going to fit into your family and your lifestyle. And like I said, they've been doing this for many, many years, and we're very grateful that they offer this. And it, like you said, it's not only in the state of Michigan, it's nationwide. And we hope that people will take the time to, open their hearts and come out to the shelters and give these animals a second chance. We have we have about 150 dogs, and 140 cats. And we're not the only shelter that's facing this. We're all kind of bursting at the seams, and we need the community's help right now to find these animals, their second home.
I'm so glad you said that. So this is probably one of the most important questions. Can you kind of walk us through the adoption process? Is it as easy as we're thinking? Is it as complicated as we're thinking? Take us through it, please.
Oh, it's very easy. Just come down to the shelter. We are open, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're open late on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we're also open on Saturdays. So, even if you're not in the market for a pet, to bring your family down here to walk through and take a look at our shelter and see what it's about. But it's very easy. You just come in. We will, ask you what your lifestyle is, what you're looking for. Are you a couch potato? Do you jog? And then we can match you up with the animals here at the shelter, because we have volunteers that walk them. They know them. And hopefully we're going to find you the right pet that fits into that lifestyle. And then you just fill out an application and you're on your way. So it's very, very easy.
Beautiful. Beautiful, and I'm glad you all make it that easy too. Before we let you go, Joni, just any other key information you want to let the community know about pet adoption, this event specifically, or just any in general information?
Well, Bissell's going to be running through the end of July. But like I said,
Right.
even if you're not in the market for an animal, this shelter is fairly new. It was built in 2017. It's a beautiful shelter. I would just like the community to come out and check us out, see what we're about. We have volunteer opportunities. I know that the kids sometimes have to have community hours to graduate. This is a great place to volunteer and help out the animals.
I'm glad you brought that up, the volunteer opportunity. That's also key. There's a lot of people in the community that love animals and would love probably to be a part of that. Thank you so much again for joining us and explaining that to the Bissell Pet Foundation's Empty the Shelters initiative that's right here in our own backyard. Join us right here on the Splash Light, Oakland County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center Chief Joni Toole. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time, Joni.
Thank you so much for having myself and Caroline on.
Carolina, thank you for joining us also. I can't forget that. Great information. If you are interested in bringing home a pet instead of buying it from the store, please visit your local Oakland County animal shelter for a chance to get them during a great initiative right here. As a matter of fact, for more info, visit them directly on their, Facebook. Let's make it easy. oakgov.opac for more information in regards to the Empty the Shelter initiative. Keeping things moving and productive right here in West Bloomfield. The West Bloomfield Public Library Midsummer Reading Party is today. Celebrating summer reading with West Bloomfield Public Library today, July 18th at the West Acres branch for the Midsummer Party. You can stop by between 4 and 7 p.m. Evening of fun. They'll have a photo booth, petting zoo, a tie-dye station, a whole bunch more. You can even tie-dye your own things. They'll have some small things you can tie-dye. You can bring a cotton white shirt or even your summer reading tote bag, and you can tie-dye that yourself. A great event. As a matter of fact, they do say all activities end promptly at 7:30, and they will be cutting off the lines by 6:30. So get there as soon as you possibly can, and it will be pending weather. If we have bad weather or modified inclement weather, I should say, then they will cancel or postpone it. For more information, go directly to their Facebook, West Bloom LIB. Search West Bloom LIB on Facebook. By the way, we are just one day away from the biggest party in town. July's Kego Harbor Block Party is coming up this Friday, July 19th, 5:30 p.m. behind City Hall in the Rose Sorter Park. It's going to be featuring live music from Interstate 90s. What a vibe that's going to be. And local artists from Kego Harbor and the rest of the GWB and across our local area from Art Sale. Artists will be there from Art Sale. Great music, live music, residents, all showing great things. If you're watching on Civic Center TV, you can see now. Of course, the best feature of the block party is you. So please come out, Kego Harbor Block Party, for some great fun right there. And if you are an art lover in general, should mark your calendars because the art show season is officially in West Bloomfield with the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show returning at the end of the month. That's Saturday, July 27th and Sunday, July 28th on Powers and Daily Roads in West Bloomfield. It will be free parking in the last back half of the parking lot behind the West Bloomfield Medical Center. So you don't have to worry about parking. We want to put that out there. But a great opportunity to see artists from all across the world and shop for amazing artwork right here in your own hometown. Go to hotworks.org or Facebook, Hotworks Art Shows, for more information regarding that. Now, if you do love cars also, we got a treat for you. Car show with the West Bloomfield Robotics team happening Sunday, August 11th at West Bloomfield High School. The robotics team combining two passions into one unique event. West Bloomfield High School student and robotics team member Kimberly Luddy explains more.
This is the second time we've done this, so it's a fairly new event. It's been at the high school. You just come off, you show off your cars, and then the high school team is actually the people who are like judging, figuring out what we like about the car. and then you get your trophy at the end. And so we got some pretty cool cars last year, and I'm hoping we get some cooler ones this year.
Yeah, and while there will be plenty of things to be excited about, including hot rods, classic cars, exotic cars, and more, there'll be plenty to learn about also. Olivia May from the robotics team also talks about what she plans to take away from this event.
Probably just making future connections for myself and like in my future career, because I do want to go into engineering, hopefully in the future. And I feel like it's really good to make connections with people that are really into that for, you know, my future. And I'm really excited for the event. I haven't done it, so I'm looking forward to it.
And for most people, they may not understand the correlation between robotics and cars, but members of the robotics team like Max Columbus understands the relationship, and here he is to discuss it in detail.
When we talked to them, when we did interviews on the West Bloomfield High School Robotics YouTube, we asked them about their car, how they found out, and they really liked hearing from us. We got a lot of advice for how to improve stuff, and we like to hear what the community thinks of how we can better and just to build those relationships and see people do like our works.
And we're looking forward to that. The second annual car show, Sunday, August 11, 8:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m. at West Bloomfield High School. For more, go directly to their Facebook, West Bloomfield Robotics on Facebook to search and find out more. So much more in store. Everything going on in the community happens right here on the Splash Live, and we appreciate you so much for joining us. Per usual, we are live, we are local, we are social. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh, on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.